Hi Facebook, I'm Ellie Frost and I'm making a video today about resistance and what it means and how we can get out of it and why when we kind of step into our next level it tends to come up. So I'm just going to share this in my groups. It's such a beautiful day here today. Like, it's just been like amazing weather for about 3 weeks, which is quite unusual for December. Yeah, so I think like we're always like going into our next level, and I know for me personally, like I've come out here in September, I've stepped into a new level of my business and different opportunities as well as my coaching business, and a lot of resistance came up, and it always does every time that we want to go to the next level, do something new, change really and elevate. And I just think it's really helpful to know, and I truly believe resistance is just the old us pushing up against the new us, because what happens is when we feel that next vision and we feel who we need to become to go into it, we kind of get what we need to enable us to do that. But it always is going to require like releasing kind of old beliefs and ideas and identities that we had. So most of the time, hi Ahmed, it's always about, okay, what do I need to let go of, or who do I need to become in order to step into that vision? And the real work to do is going to be readjusting our mindset and our belief systems and ultimately our energy into that highest vision of self, because you know, law of attraction doesn't really respond to our thoughts as much as our beliefs, and our beliefs are the stuff that's kind of like down in the layers, that are kind of the thoughts that we kept thinking that are really reinforced in our system, that we have to be willing to release in order to step into that vision. And if we're getting resistance, it's where some of those thought systems are bumping up against that new thought. So what we need to do is figure out, okay, so what beliefs do I need to have at that highest vision, at that next level? And where do I need to do some work in order to release the beliefs I already have? Or how do I come into alignment with those? And sometimes it's just as simple as kind of asking the question of, well, who do I need to become? And what do I need to believe? But a lot of the time, a better question to ask, especially if you feel like things aren't working, is why aren't I letting this in? Because anything that we haven't already got manifested or isn't showing up in our life means that we can't be completely aligned with it. There must be something that we're not letting in. So a really, really good question to ask is, well, why would I not let this in? Why am I not letting this in? And that can help you kind of uncover those subconscious beliefs in order to be able to shine some awareness and light on them so that we can let them go. And if we don't do that, but we keep moving into the vision and we're holding the vision, then those beliefs are going to get shown to us. They're going to get loud, and we can get kind of disorientated in that and feel like, oh my goodness, you know, I can't do this, or it's not there for me, or this is too much, or I'm not strong enough, or this just isn't for me. But really that is just the resistance. That is just because we've got some grounded belief systems that we haven't yet shifted around that old identity and that old us. And so the true work is always about, okay, so what's that highest vision? What can I feel about it? So it doesn't have to be that you have to know all the details, but you kind of have to know what you want to do, what you want to transform, what change you want to create in the world, you know, what really excites you inside, in order, like, how can you show up in an ultimate way for you? And then it's about, okay, so why haven't I let that in, or why wouldn't I let that in? So that you can start really figuring out, well, what belief systems do I have that are keeping me where I am? Because we've all got these structures, we've all got these belief systems around where we are, otherwise we wouldn't be where we are. And it is, of course, about being okay with that, and you know, being totally surrendered to where we are, accepting where we are, but also allowing ourselves movement and to move. Hey Jenna, I love Jenna. Enable us to kind of move through that resistance and move into and flow into that highest vision. But you know, so it can be much more seamless, but the first thing to do is to understand, like, what am I keeping in place? Why wouldn't I let this in? Why aren't I letting this in? And who do I need to be in order to do that? I can't see all the comments. So So yeah, the work I've been doing, even on myself, has been like another layer of that. And I always say to my clients, like, I don't think that growth has a lot to do with gaining stuff as much as, I mean, it does, but it has much more to do with kind of, what do I need to release? What do I need to let go of, right? What have I decided, or what stories do I have that are keeping me where I am? Because we all want to expand and grow. We all want to move more into our purpose. We all want to, like, elevate ourselves and actually others, right? We actually are here for advancement. I believe that, to kind of advance ourselves, and by doing that automatically enable other people to do the same. So every time there's a new calling or we go outside our comfort zone, there's often that bit of resistance and wobble, but I think it's really important to know that it doesn't come up as a bad sign. It comes up as that old identity, that old us, that old familiar us, those old familiar beliefs coming up to be let go of and for light to be shone on them. So when you know that, you just go, okay, cool. And maybe you go back into that old you in the resistance. A lot of times when people get resistance to their next level, they sink into that old version of themselves for a bit, right? And they think they've got a bit worse, or they think that they've gone downhill. It's not so much that, it's that your kind of strongest resistance will come up and kind of maybe suck you in for a bit until you wake up and go, hey, that's cool, but I need to let that go. And you actually understand what those stories were about and what it's kind of grounded in. So it's just belief systems that really come back to hold us back where we are before we get to go to the next level. But it is a sign that we are going there, because we're getting what we need. I really believe we get what we need in order to elevate. And so we get the light on the things that we have to let go of, and we get to choose to let go of them in order to go to that next level of our business, of our vision, of our life, of whatever it is we want to create. And every time we have to step into more belief, right? Anything we don't align with and truly believe, we hold ourselves apart from. So it is about getting our belief lined up that we can have it, right? That it's done, that it comes from within us, not outside of us. So we have to understand that it's not about waiting for the universe to deliver everything to us, and it's not about an outside force orchestrating the details. We actually have to cultivate what we want from within. So we have to be, that idea of like becoming what we want and who we're being creates our life ultimately. We have to cultivate the feelings of having it, the feelings of being it, the feelings of knowing it, really being in our knowing with it in order for it to show up on the outside. So it is very much a within thing, and it's not about our vision being in the future. It's about grounding that in such a great belief inside that it just has to show up. And that's our job, and that's what the work is. And that is, you know, can be the most challenging, because all the time we're being asked to kind of choose a different reality to the one that's around us, right? So if we've got big dreams and big hopes, often when we're in that transition, our outside world doesn't look like it adds up. And so we get kind of caught up in that sometimes, but in order to create the new reality, we have to be more bought into that new reality than our current reality. We literally have to, you can, I don't know, be a little bit delusional in the process and not too attached to what's showing up right now, because there might be some old resonance, there might be some old resonance with where we are and so where we were. So stuff might be showing up because it had a bit of momentum going on, and that's okay. We get to just disempower it, disengage with it, do whatever we need to do in the moment to deal with whatever's come up, but don't give it overarching power or meaning, or make it mean you're stuck, or make it mean that's your reality. You know, you don't get to create the new reality from the paradigm of the old one. It really is about stepping into that kind of new vision and holding it for longer and believing in it more than you believe in what's going on right now. And so that's the same in all areas of our lives. And I think it's the trickiest thing to grasp, because it is asking us to have more faith and more commitment to something unseen half the time than what we're actually seeing. And so that's where we can get a bit wobbly. That's where we get our kind of resistance shown to us. But just know it's the old identity. It's actually a really good sign. It's that noise that you need. It's that stuff getting louder to invite you to choose your highest self, to invite you to choose the next level you. And of course, when you're in the midst of a lot of resistance, sometimes it feels like you can't get out. Sometimes it feels like this is just me, And you have to just know throughout that it's not just you, it's just the stuff that got allowed for you to bring to the light and heal and shed and let go of, so that you can actually pay the completely new way in your life, where it could be, whatever it is you're desiring. So maybe it's easier for you, maybe it's more effortless for you, maybe it's more passionate for you, maybe it's clearer for you. Whatever it is that you are holding on to which not allowing those things through gets a chance to go. And when you know that that's what it can be about, rather than something that you can't control, or meaning that you're bad, or meaning that you're wrong, or meaning that you can't do this, you have to believe you can do it more than anything else. That kind of real commitment to your purpose and having faith in it and belief in it no matter what is what the universe responds to. So we have to believe in it, and it's getting ourselves to believe in what we can't see that I think is often the biggest challenge that most of us face. But it's kind of, it's quite a funny word actually. Yeah, so it's faith, and it's not about faking it. It can't really be fake. It has to be true. I have to truly believe in my vision. I have to truly stand in my power. I have to truly know that no matter what life shows me right now, I know what I've created. I've already given it to myself from within. I already know it's mine. I already know myself as that. There's no need to fear or wobble or get into anxiety over it, because I know it's grounded into me so much. So whatever I have to deal with in this moment, it's totally okay, right? It means nothing to me, because I know where I'm going, and it's just the last fragments of what I might need to let go of in order to step more into it fully. And of course I've got evidence for that vision unfolding, and of course there's a new reality that I can choose over my existing one. So it's all the time kind of staying with that energy. And of course you get to wobble, you get to doubt sometimes, we're human beings, but it's always the work to be cultivating that internal state where we just don't wobble that much. And the world can rapidly kind of catch up with us. The longer we hold that energy, the longer we feel good about what we're creating and don't buy into the obstacles or the challenges, because anything can get cleared up and anything can unfold differently. And it's so easy to look back at our past. I know I've done this many times and thought, oh, I made a mistake here and I wish I hadn't have done that. But it's not really useful to chastise ourselves at any point. What's really useful is to know that what really went on was that I got out of alignment with who I was. I got out of alignment with what I know. I maybe didn't hold my belief long enough, right? I maybe wobbled, and so the universe just kind of gave me what I was being at the time. It doesn't mean anything more than that. It doesn't mean I'm not capable. It doesn't mean I can't achieve what I want to achieve. It doesn't mean I'm not on path. I feel like we're always moving towards our vision, right? The universe always responds. We're meant to be our most brilliant selves. We're meant to be our most authentic selves. We're meant to be our highest version of self. We're meant to have all the resources to enable us to do that, right? So making sure that, if you feel like you've made mistakes or that you've got caught up in some resistance or some other stuff, that you don't empower it to the point of making yourself wrong or making yourself, not capable or anything like that. The correct kind of understanding is always, okay, I got out of alignment with myself. I got out of alignment with my truth. I got out of alignment with my highest power. That's cool, right? I can actually come into that greater alignment now. So no circumstance or situation or anything that we feel didn't work out has to mean anything more than I wasn't in the most efficient aligned energy. And what I can learn from that is what those beliefs were that didn't align with that, where I kind of held back, why I wasn't letting it in. I really feel like if you're ever asking yourself, why isn't this working, it's not a helpful question. The question to ask yourself is, why am I not letting this in? Why am I not letting this in right now? Because if you ask yourself that, then that will help you figure out, well, what are those beliefs I have, or what am I scared of? It's really, as we're expanding and coming into more of ourselves, we have to know that we're safe and supported. As we go into the new, it's about really trusting, like, I'm safe and supported. It's safe for me to expand. It's safe for me to be abundant. It's safe for me to have what I want. It's safe for me to let it be easy. It's safe for me to let go of the struggle. It's safe for me to have that full faith and trust in the universe and know it gets to be taken care of. I don't have to control it. I can actually surrender to it in a different way once I come into the alignment with who I really am and trust what's in myself. So it's kind of like disengaging and disempowering from the resistance, understanding what's really going on. It's just the old you pushing against the new you. You just get to let go of some beliefs. You just get to let go of some old crap that's not serving you, because the universe is friendly. It wants to give you what's in your heart. You're always moving towards that vision. You're just getting what you need to look at and put in the light and let go of. So we don't need to take the resistance too seriously, even though it can be scary at the same time, even though it can show parts of ourselves that we don't like or we don't want to be, you know, things that we thought we let go of. Often as we go into a deeper level or a higher level of our expansion, they can come up again and we think, oh, I thought I let go of that stuff, you know, I thought I didn't believe that anymore. And it's just, you know, we may have shifted that belief to a certain level of expansion, but when we get to be bigger than that, it can come up again, right? Because it was something that was kind of deep within us that just needs to be unearthed and let go of and released even more. So it's this constant shedding and releasing and not being, well, it's okay to get a bit, you know, frightened sometimes or in a bit of fear, but really we know that you can't be convinced that you're the creator and in full faith and belief that we create our own reality, and then believe that that kind of manifestation is outside of us, or believe that we can't get there, or believe that we can't overcome whatever is in front of us. You know, if we know that we're creating it, or if we truly can know that, if we truly believe that, then we know that all we have to do is cultivate it from within. And once we've done that and we've stood in that space and we're holding that energy, it's ours, it's done. So there's nothing else for us to get really kind of wobbly about, apart from if we're buying into an old reality, an old paradigm, an old idea, an old belief system. And that's just the stuff that we get to let go of. And sometimes we just need to bring it into the light and look at it and say, okay, what belief have I got around this? And then choose to let it go. Can I let it go? Am I willing to let it go? Sometimes we can't just let go of some of our beliefs. They're too strong within us. So the first step is to say, am I willing to let it go? And to come at it with that love and compassion, to come at it with complete forgiveness. We get to love and release it, not just try and push it away. Because I think for a lot of us, when we get resistance and we get to see some of the aspects of ourselves that we don't like, and you know, I've done this too, we just want to push it away, we just want to sort of detach from it, but that's not the point. The point is to really bring it into the light and to love it and forgive ourselves, and to know that it's all been part of that idea that we had of this kind of keeping us safe, or it served us in some way. So we can ask, like, all those like beliefs that we view as negative or as limiting, well, how were they serving me? And then we can question, well, is that really true? See, what would I need to believe I needed that belief to serve me? And a lot of the time it comes down to, well, I'd need to believe that I was safe. I'd need to believe that I was supported. I'd need to believe that what I feel inside of me is true. I'd need to believe that this is all there for me. So we get to choose those new beliefs, and then it is a practice and an energy practice of really grounding them in and aligning with what's true for us. But at our highest level and at our highest expression, we know who we are. We know that we can stand in that space. We know that you don't get a vision that's not meant for us. You know that we are always moving towards it, and the universe will pull us towards it the more we get to release our resistance to it and actually go with it. Because sometimes we can't understand like how it's going to work out, and that's really not the point, because of course from our current limited perspective of our past and our past beliefs and our past thinking, of course we can't work it out. It's beyond us. You know, it hasn't been available, our new level hasn't been available to us at the old level, because we had a certain perspective. And so our job is to kind of go with the flow a little bit into the new space where we actually have this different perspective and we can behave more powerfully. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Resistance is always showing us where we can grow. Yeah, and I actually believe it's just like the way that we get served. It's kind of like, cool, you've got that vision, you're moving towards that vision, and then this stuff comes up to show us what we're still holding on to that we can actually let go of, right? So then we expand into it, but it's just our old identity pushing against the new one. It's our old beliefs pushing against the new ones, and all we have to know about it is the more I reinforce the new belief without needing to see outside evidence. I don't need the world to show me right now. I need to do it from, it's an internal job to start with. You know, I have to believe it so deeply that I don't even need the external circumstances right now to confirm it. It's mine anyway, it's done anyway. When we can stand in that space, then the resistance just disempowers, disengages. But when we get it quite strongly, that's a really good sign. It's a really good sign that we're expanding. It's a really good sign that we get to go to something completely different, like this, yay, this whole new space. So that's what I wanted to share, because that's definitely been like my journey over and over again. Like every time it's been a new level, every time a new thing, there's always stuff to let go of. There's always a new level of kind of faith, a new level of trust, a new level of certainty, a new level of power, because power is faith. Power is purpose and faith combined. When you've got that purpose and you know where you're going and you're deciding that it's yours, then that's when you have the most power, because you're not being controlled by external circumstances, even though you actually know that you get to create it anyway, but you don't give your power away to what shows up. You just step out of fear and into truth, into love, into alignment, into being a collaborator with the universe, allowing what you want into you. So I really recommend this question. If you're ever thinking, why isn't it working, or why don't I have this, or those are really bad questions. They're really unhelpful questions. We need to ask ourselves really good questions to get really good answers. So if there's anything that you want or desire and you don't think, how is Maeve when you lift heavy in the gym? Hey Minesh, how are you? Yeah, I need you in my life again. Minesh was my trainer, and then he moved back to Canada, and so I haven't really been working out as much. I did actually have, that's an aside, but yeah, I could definitely do with more heavy lifting in the gym. But yeah, I love this question of why aren't I letting it in? So whatever that next level is, like, where's my resistance to it? Because we will get the inspiration, we will get the ideas around what's required of us in order to get to that next level. Yeah, I'm really, really good. I'm in LA, as you can probably see. I think you maybe know. I moved here, so I was super happy about that. I just want to inspire you to ask a better question, and this question of why wouldn't I let this in, or how could I be willing to let this in, or why aren't I letting this in, just can help us uncover those beliefs. Because when we believe we can do it, we get the inspiration to be able to do it. We get what we personally need, and our journeys are all different, right? It's not the same path for all of us. That's why when people like cookie cutter strategies and things, oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, when people just sell cookie cutter strategies and they work for some people and not other people, it's because their energy's not behind it, because our own journey and our own path is often different. It's not the same formula, right? Or like at the gym, or everyone would be able to use the same process and get the same results. And so what we have to do is come into alignment and believe it's ours, and then be open to the inspiration and the guidance that we get as to how we can achieve that. And it has to be true to us. You can't really, I think you have to be aligned with your vision in such a way that it's not an ego thing necessarily, it's a truth thing. It's a thing that you truly desire. Desire is good. Desire and want to have something is fuel, right? So we want to step into our desires. If we make the desire bigger than the resistance just goes away anyway. So it's not so much of an issue. If we fuel the desire more than the fear, then the fear just subsides. The fear just goes. The resistance just goes anyway. So we can uncover those beliefs and fuel that desire, hold our vision for longer and longer and longer and longer. And it gets to come about. And where we have struggle and stress is when we just doubt it, where we fear it. So we have to be really disciplined to start with in just not letting those thoughts in, and not just disempowering them, just completely not caring what it looks like or what the obstacles are, just choosing to believe, because that's where the miracles can happen and things can really open up. And we're always on path, we're always being pulled on path. I think that's really, if you can believe that and just know that you're always moving towards what you want, and it's always moving towards you, and these things are not there to stop us. The resistance isn't there to stop us. It's just a chance to grow, be bigger than those challenges. So if you guys need any support doing that, I'm here, and I'd love to help you do that. Otherwise, I hope that was inspiring, and wishing you a fantastic day.